Okay, everybody, I'm getting ready to load up some 9mm Frangible bullets. These are the kind of bullets that are supposed to, on the impact, basically turn to dust. A buddy of mine sent me a whole bunch. Of course, you know that I had been doing the experiment with reloading aluminum cases, and I'm using the frangible bullet for that. And I've got everything set up. Unique powder in the hopper. Primers in the primer tray. I'm going to load up 35 in brass cases, and then the other 14 is in aluminum cases, which I'll have to change the powder charge. Right now, the brass cases will be loaded up with about 4.8 grains of unique powder. The aluminum will be loaded up with approximately 3.8 grains of powder. Okay, just want to be on the safe side with the aluminum. You know, it's not as heavy and thick as brass, so that's what this first round that I've already loaded up has in it, is about 3.8. That might not be enough, but again, it might be just right. Got the frangible bullets already in the bullet feeder, which you've all seen in my other videos how it works. My light to verify cases have powder charge in them. So I'm all set up. One thing I did want to show is I've got my 9mm torn apart. It's a Millennium Pro Taurus 9mm. Shoots very well. Here's the barrel. And what I was doing, I was taking this bullet, sticking it in the barrel, and making sure that the head space is just right. Should be down there flush with the top here. Basically, it's like checking your cartridge overall length. That'd be your go and no-go gauge. So you don't want, you know, if you haven't trimmed your cases and they're too long, this thing may stick up like so. You don't want that. You want the case to set flush. And you don't want it too short. Of course, it'll go below that. Your firing pin won't strike it. But if it was too long and it's set up above to where basically when the slide went shut, there could be a possibility it wouldn't go into full battery, or your firing pin might strike the primer before the bullet's already seated. You don't want that. I've seen a picture on YouTube or not on YouTube, but on Facebook, where a guy actually destroyed his handgun. It was a polymer, and actually the slide pretty much kind of blowed off of it, sort of like that. I got it backwards. So sort of like that, and his magazine was in pieces. And luckily he wasn't seriously injured. So you always got to be real careful and make sure you have your minimum cartridge overall or maximum cartridge overall length. Make sure it's right, so you don't have something like that happen. So I'll get the camera set up here in a little bit, and we'll get ready to start reloading some 9mm frangible bullets. Here's the first one, frangible. Primer. Now check the cartridge overall length. .068. Take the barrel. As you can see, fits flush. It looks just like the aluminum. Okay, there's 35 of these loaded up. So now I'm switching over to the aluminum, so I got to change the powder setting. And I'll do that in just a second. Okay, now we're starting with the aluminum cases. I've decreased the powder charge. And I am going to have a few bullets fall out because there's nothing there to catch them. First aluminum case. It's primed. Charge. And now it will get a bullet. again, these are aluminum cases. First time being reloaded. These are test cases to see if it can be done. Almost to the last one. And this is the last one. Okay, that's all the aluminum ones. Primed and ready to try. Now I'm just going to check them. This was the first one I loaded. I'm going to check to see if it weighed 118 grains loaded. These are the ones I just done. 117.4. 117.2. 117.2. Another 117.2, so they're all equaling out about the same. 117.2. Usually I don't just sit here and weigh all of them, but I'm just checking these to make sure they all equal out about the same. And they do. Now I was going to tell you, these are, if I can get it up here so you can focus in, these are CCI boxer primed aluminum case. These are 90 grain frangible bullets, and these have approximately 4.4 grains of unique powder. I didn't want to load them to the same levels as the brass because the recipe I found on the Frangible website for these 9mm said to use the 125 grain jacketed, which would have been 4.8 grains of powder. And I didn't want to use that because they're not expecting you to be loading them in aluminum jackets or aluminum casings. They're expecting you to load them in brass. But it appears every one of these are coming out 117.2. So that's fine. And now I will check cartridge overall length, 106.5, 106.6. That's what to come out. And I'll check again with the barrel from my 9mm. And it fits flush. So these should be ready to go. They fall in, come out. So now it's just to get to the range to test them. Again, now here's the brass ones. Now they've got 4.8 grains of unique, 90 grain frangible. Fits right in there nice and flush. Falls right back out. So this will be a good test to see about reloading aluminum cases. I wouldn't recommend it. It's only on a half to basis. Everything that I've read says you could probably do it one time and one time only. Main thing to check for is around the case mouth. See if there's any splits or cracks. These were indoor range pickup cases, and I done checked them. I run them through a tumbler. Cleaned out the primer pocket, uniformed the primer pocket, trimmed where needed, chamfered the inside and the out, and now have them loaded and ready to test fire. So hopefully, if I don't forget, I'll take the video camera with me and be able to give a report in the field.